Ooh, open season.
Yeah, open season. So they have been playing for a few minutes at this point, so we're gonna kind of skip past the first few turns.
I love this
Oh,
map.
Greenfinger, yes!
Alright, so in the bottom right, playing Greenfinger, we have Searing Blight. Their first time making it this far into a Group of War. This is their first time in the finals. But as someone who is no stranger to the finals whatsoever, we have Shu playing Wulfar up at the top.
Yeah, I've got to say about Searing, they came out of nowhere. They wrecked me in our set, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yep, they definitely wrecked me too. So good.
I mean, it's really
they're-
cool. Oh, sorry.
Nah, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's really cool to see new names in the finals, and like, Searing's been around for quite a while actually, so it's cool to see someone who's like been in the community for this long, like, just like improve and take names in tournament and make the finals.
I've said this
Yeah.
before, but Searing's always been a really good player. I just don't know where they play, because I don't see them in the Wargroove Discord that often. But they've definitely been a solid, like, they could compete with top players for a year back at least.
Whoa. This is an interesting play by Searing Blight. Doesn't, like, counter camp the bottom left village. Is he going for, like, an early lethal?
Searing is always going for an early lethal. They very much are an assassin player.
Yeah, and it looks like Shu is seeing that and hit the full health knight with the sword instead of using a
Oh, I think
capping that village.
I might be like slightly behind both of you.
Oh,
But yeah, now he's hitting the knight with the sword. Yeah, I mean, one thing I heard from Searing and Shu is that they both want to play the entire finals out tonight. And I know Shu can play fast, but I guess Searing is definitely like that. Like you're saying, that kind of assassin-y player who just like wants to play and finish the game quick. Oh, here comes the wild growth. Oh, he's got it up on the stronghold. He just wants to whoa.
wow.
Yeah, this is such an early groove like this. He's just gonna try and end the game right here.
Yeah, this is fascinating.
One thing that's important to note about both these players is that Shu has been playing against me for a long time and is very, very experienced against assassins. It's one of the reasons I switched my playstyle to be more mechanics. So it'll be interesting to see if Searing can actually pull an assassination off on Shu.
Oh, and that groove from Wulfar, he sacks his own mage, but
yeah,
he stops the lethal. Like, you can't night crit into this anymore.
Shu is very, very good at stopping things like this. They've had a lot of practice, and they immediately know when you're trying it.
And I guess, Searing's just gonna try and go for it anyway.
ooh,
That could be a little bit risky. Usually, once the play is failed, you want to back off, or you could lose a lot. It's all or nothing.
Oh, he takes out vines. He's covering the vines. He just needs to kind of gather around. Oh, he hits it with the dragon. Greenfinger's almost dead. Is this it?
This might be it. Yeah, Shu is really good at this. It's very hard to just pull a sneak play on Shu.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, and Searing Blight just ends the game. Oh,
Yep.
that's a rough game one.
That was fascinating. I really thought Searing had that for a minute, but that Wulfar groove to just stop the lethal there.
Yeah,
Yeah, at any cost.
Wow.
Most players would hesitate to sacrifice their mage like that, but Shu does not hesitate. Shu sees the end game and stops it from happening.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a fast game one. Like, because we got the code from the players. I was like, let's do a little bit of an intro, and you know, like we'll talk a bit about it because you know might be quite a long finals. This might be quite a long first game of the tournament, or first game of the finals, I should say. And it actually ended it before we finished, like catching up with them. And now they're just sending me the bans for game 2, so
Eh.
I
Alright,
guess
so let's talk a little bit about playstyle before we get into the next game, because I think that would be really useful for context. Shu is the mechanicsy of mechanics players. They are not an assassin. Shu will try to take the board as quickly as possible, get a lot of money, and then just abuse the timer and get to the end game. Searing is also a very fast player, but does the exact opposite. They're trying to kill your commander as quickly as possible. Like me, they're an assassin player. They want to target your stronghold or your commander, pull off a really quick lethal cheese. And one thing that's very different about Searing, something that I don't do as much, they really have plans. Like, I can see Searing in like a secret cave twiddling their fingers, coming up with these ingenious master plans that go all the way from turn 1 to the lethal. And that takes them to the level of assassinations where they can do like these really elaborate multi-turn things that we see here.
yeah, I mean, like, you could, I mean, for that strategy in particular, you could plan that out, like, from start to end. And it doesn't matter what your opponent does, like, you would just have those first, like, 6 or 7 turns planned out. And honestly, like, that's just, like, Shu just did a brilliant counterplay there with the groove from Wulfar. Like, if that wasn't up, like, Nightcrit would have come down on the stronghold and he would have just ended the game.
Yep. He also threw a full health sword at a knight, which you almost like never do. But he knew that like this was this all in that he was going for, because Shu had that bottom left corner village through the whole thing, which usually you counter cap and bring it back into Greenfinger's control. But since he like dove right in, Shu immediately knew that he only had to hold him off, and then he would have win.
Yeah, like, Shu is really, really good at shutting down the multi-turn things like this. Like, it's literally the reason I started playing differently, just because of Shu, because you can't, it's so hard to catch Shu out. They'll see it happening right when they need to, react, and fix it. But Searing has taken planning to a level that I never have, and I'm really excited to see an assassin who's gone way further than I have try to take out Shu. I wonder if they can do it in the next game.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'm so curious to see what's gonna happen, because like you're saying, Shu just responded perfectly. Like, he hit the knight with the sword. That takes like a real level of foresight that a lot of people wouldn't, have. But Shu has played this game enough to know that, like, hey, my opponent is like clearly doing some shenanigans. They're trying to build groove and the game quickly. And
I've
yeah,
also like tried this stuff to Shu so many times.
I feel like you're not alone there. Like, he's probably had a few people do stuff like this to him, and he's just gone, yeah, like, not today.
Not today.
Oh, and we have the second game. We have the second game bans coming as well, so we're gonna hop that.